Game of Thrones. Hi, I'm Claw Billie. Welcome to Hell of Thrones. This is the show where people paid me $1,000 to watch Game of Thrones, something I absolutely don't want to do. Welcome, Season 2 time. Yesterday I got up at like 6 in the morning. Today I decided, nope. Slept in until 9. I was rewarded with the news that Trump has COVID. Yeah! The rules, I don't take any notes, I don't look anything up, I turn my phone off, and I talk for 10 minutes at the end of every episode. I can't believe it's only Season 2 and I'm exhausted. Let's smack this dragon! Season 2, Episode 1, The North Remembers. 10 minutes. Ah! Yay! More characters! Okay, so there was a cabin full of new people I've never seen before, and then there was some lady in a red dress with a bunch of people I've never seen before. Just when I was starting to get excited that people were dying and I had less to remember. You're gonna lost me on this one? Okay, well, at the very least, the show has a lot of pretty dresses, so it's got that going. Not as nice as this one, though. Designs by Ophelia. Bing! I figured out some names. So King Flintstone is definitely Robert Baratheon. Robb Stark. Who is that? I don't know. I don't have a face to go with a name. Just like whole tables of people, I don't know what the fuck their deal is. Everybody's mad at somebody. Literally, anytime somebody mentions like, oh, they know what they did, we're going to war, like, I don't have time to figure out, right, and who are they again? I need everybody to have like little stats bubbles over their heads. How are there 7 more seasons of this? Welcome to Billy Finds Creative New Ways to Say I Don't Give a Fuck. Everybody's new. Who is everybody? Who is anybody? Who am I? Here's a fun one. I don't think anyone said Melisandre out loud, but by cultural osmosis, I know Melisandre has a cool necklace. But who the fuck is Melisandre? I just saw, anyway, here's a field with some fire in it. New characters. Dany's guy, who, like, honestly looks like Crocodile Dundee, like a grizzled Crocodile Dundee. I don't know, just the way he looks and acts, I just keep expecting to see, like, you know, a hat with shark teeth on it. Oh, exciting development! The full weight of this didn't even hit me at the finale of Season 1, but Dany's single now! Are Dany and Professor Sex together? Professor Sex was in this one, she's still hanging around. Like, what new lessons are they teaching each other? Okay, so there's that slave character, who claims not to be a slave, but wears leg iron. At some point, they got accosted by some people in the woods. Was she one of them? Classic Tyrion. First of all, Tyrion's just a little cuddle bug. I'm glad that Tyrion's lady love has stuck around. I'm sure the show will disappoint me in some way, and they are not, couple goals. I wish I knew their name. It hasn't come up again. Like, that's what I don't like about this show. If you missed it, you missed it. And I also hate that, oh, we'll just go on the Wikipedia. No! Damn it. I refuse. As part of this show, and also if I were watching this normally, I'd be like, I shouldn't have to look this up. So anyway, they're super sweet and cute together, and I want to just watch a show about them, which again, I think is the ploy of this show. Have so many characters that you'll like one of them, and then you can zone out when the ones you don't like are on the screen. Just scroll until, oh, Tyrion's back. Tyrion is still like my top character. Number 2 is Serial Sword Fighter, who I still don't know if he's dead or not. Classic Tyrion, where I discuss a trait of Tyrion Lannister that my bestie Dragon Mommy Grace would say I also possess. Tyrion's great with kids. There have been like 2 scenes now where Tyrion just like walks into a room and there's kids there and he's like, hey, how you doing? Looking good. And like, I don't know, I just love Tyrion's like big uncle vibes. So yeah, Tyrion, good with kids. Probably a huge piece of shit, but good with kids. I'm only one of those traits, I swear. I gotta be honest, like the fact that we did not see a big battle at the end of Season 1, like now makes me laugh when people talk about, like, we're getting in position, we're setting up our troops. Because now I just expect every time someone to get bonked on the head, and then we missed the expensive battle scene. I really hope that every single time they're just stalling because they need to amass the budget. It just makes me laugh when people talk about preparing for war. What war? Why war? I don't give a fuck war. There were 2 moments where somebody could have killed somebody, which I wanted because less characters to remember, and instead they didn't. And I feel like, I thought the point of this show is like, oh, people are cruel. And I don't know, why the fuck didn't King Joffrey kill his mom? I know that television doesn't always give you cut and dry answers and you get to go, ooh, interesting, why did that character make that choice? But everything I've seen of King Joffrey right now, Cersei should be fucking dead for slapping him.
How many bastards does he have running?
That pissed me off. So for all the people who are like, wow, in season 8 they really ignored character,
Running.
I'm in season 2 and I'm like, yo, she should be dead. She's clearly alive because she's got character shielding and they're gonna do something with her, and I hated it. It took me out of the scene. I was just like, no, King Joffrey at every turn has just done the worst fucking thing, and then suddenly his mom slaps him and he's like, you know what, no, like,
Running.
talk about a power fantasy. I gotta have mom killed for being a bitch? Like, that sounds pretty Joffrey. Oh no, this show is infecting me with its awfulness. For we live in a cruel, dark world where nothing is good, and we're all bags of fighting fucking meat. I love this show, and I love living in this world. Woo! That was your cue timer. Season 2, episode 2. It's the Nightlands. It's the Nightlands. Huh. Holy shit, it just hit me that, like, I predicted that there would be kind of a transgender bendy for Maisieface, Ari now. I'd forgotten that I had predicted that because, like, the sweet little queer things I want to happen on this show never happened. Then I was like, oh, they're doing it. They're doing it in the Mulan way, which is like, oh, you know, she had to do it to protect herself. But, you know, whatever, it works. It's myth, it's metaphor, sure. One quick tip, though, if you took the makeup off, you might be a little more convincing as a boy, because it's better than mine, so, you know, just throwing that out there. The conventions of the period, that is, because this is actual real history. I've noticed that whenever I finally hear the name of a character that I don't know yet, I immediately start, like, saying it out loud. There are people on this show who I've been seeing their face for, like, at this point, over 10 episodes, I still don't know their name, so if someone says it, my eyes light up and I'm like, Today's character, whose name I finally know, is Varys. Varys is the bald one, turtle power. Also, Melisandre's dress this episode, holy shit. Want it, need it, love it. Also, Melisandre taking off the dress and getting porked on the risk table, holy shit. This is a show for people that have fucked during a Ticket to Ride session. I feel like that's exactly the demographic for this show. Hey! This episode featured a lot of stories about the sexual exploitation of women, and it was very hard to take it seriously while also witnessing it happening in real time. Food for thought. Time for a classic Tyrion moment. But wait, hold on. No. I didn't like how Tyrion was a little shit about Varys being friendly with his lady, whose name I still don't know. I do not want to be compared to Tyrion in that way. Yes, I know. The context is Tyrion knows, I know what this is, I know this is a power move, so maybe I am like Tyrion in that way. Classic Tyrion. It was the first time I went, oh, Tyrion, I don't like you. Like, come on, like, really embrace the fact that your lady's got a bestie now. Come on. There's a Robb Stark. I don't know who that is. There's a Robb Stark. Rat-faced Dingledorf over here, finger blasted a lady on a horse. And I really love this fantasy world because in this world, apparently, your pussy's in your tummy. He kind of just like jostled up her breakfast, which, you know, whatever. I mean, we could all use a good breakfast jostling. It's 2020. I miss human contact. I want to get my breakfast jostled. What else? The fucking credits changed! I didn't notice that in Season 2, Episode 1, The Horse of Death. I don't skip the intro, but I absolutely mentally check out when I hear the music. So for all my complaining about not being able to keep things straight, when I noticed that the credits had changed, I laser focused paid attention. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, this is helping me understand, like, who's who and what's what. There were a lot of establishing shots in this episode that I was like, oh yeah, and that's been added to the credits. Okay, so now I know that Pike is like a bunch of monoliths connected by bridges. Okay. Literally, as I said that, I probably have the wrong one. I think that's Pike, though. Anyway, I'm gonna start laser focusing, paying attention to the credits. They put the house sigil next to the actor's name, but they don't put the character's name with the actor's name. And also, if I don't know the actor's name, I call him King Flintstone or whatever. I will never say that this show is not giving me what I need to figure out the plot. I just am eyes glazed over. I am so not giving a fuck. I am hoarding every single fuck. I am absorbing my fucks into me. Again, will stress that all the way down. I don't think the show's poorly made. I just have no interest in this type of show. Okay, did everybody leave? I think this show sucks shit. All right, racking my brains. What else? Oh my God, with 30 seconds to go, I like how Sam is wholesomely interested in sex, like everyone else is like, oh yes, when a busty maiden's lustful needs, I shake her tits. And Sam is just kind of like, sex seems pretty nice. Have you guys heard of sex? Sex seems pretty nice. I'd like to try a sex. Season 2, episode 3. What is dead may never die. Begin! Okay, so one of the things about watching this show alone that makes me kind of sad is no one can see my genuine reactions to things, and then I have to try to reenact them for you, the viewers at home. At the exact first appearance of this character, my genuine reaction was, who's this cutie? And then, when this character took off her helmet, I went, who's this cutie? Just saying, I like both of these characters, and, Triad. So, this was a big episode for me learning characters' names. Holy shit, I'm gonna try to rattle these off as fast as I can because, wow, I know who people are now. Ratface is Theon Greyjoy, as far as I know. He got baptized in this episode. They said something about House Greyjoy, and they said in the name of Theon. I think this is Theon Greyjoy. I did it. I learned that the rickety old bag of bones is named, Grandmaster Pycelle? This lovely lady, Shane. She said, like, my name is Shane, my lady. And I was like, ooh, Seamus? So maybe her name is Seamus? Shane. She's Shane now and forever until I have confirmation. I think this guy is named Crow. I know this guy is named Crow. Literally, as soon as I figured out his name, he died, so who cares? And as soon as I saw them and fell deeply in love with them, I committed both their names to memory. This is Marjorie. This is Brienne. My loves. My one true triad, my OTTs, is me and these two now. Oh! I solved the mystery of the dick-sucking nipple shavers, which is my favorite Nancy Drew book. I was honestly hoping that they would never revisit that. It would just be a one random scene of shaving a nip and sucking a dick, and like I almost kind of would have respected it in sort of a, hello, we are writers and we don't know how to put gay things in your show. I know that's not the case now, but for a while I was like, Stranger Things have happened. Game of Thrones things have happened. Classic Tyrion moment, playing people against each other. Is this what you think of me, Dragon Mommy? Love you, Dragon Mommy. Oh, fuck it. Randomly, because I finally noticed this credit at the end. Wolf Unit. Which just sounds like a sci-fi show I would really enjoy. When you need a suddenly wolf, call the Wolf Unit. I still don't know who the fuck Robb Stark is. The second I find out who Robb Stark is, I'm gonna shout it from the rooftops. That is an ongoing mystery. Oh, but back to the dick-sucking nipple shavers. I see their story now, and I kind of like the way it was handled, but also I don't. Like, I don't know. For all the scenes of people getting, emotionally tortured in this show, I found it sort of sweet when this fella was making the kissy with this smoke show, and I was bracing for some cringe, some cheese, some TV cheese about, like, queer issues, and like, I don't know, when she was just like, oh, I know this is a thing, you can pretend I'm a boy, you can get someone in here to get the pump primed. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then I was like, oh, but also still sad, because it's like, yeah, no, I know we have to go through the motions, whatever, put a baby in me. Holy fuck, Editor Billie is excited today. So yeah, I love the editing in the scene where Tyrion is talking to Varys and Littlefinger and Lord of the Pies, and how it's one conversation, but then, like, they'll smoothly just stick someone else in there, so you don't have to see the same conversation happen 3 times. Just simple, masterful, really liked it. I'm really curious if it was like that in the books. I didn't say it out loud, but I thought, like, that's good television, baby. I love creative edits like that. It's simple, but, like, editing is such a powerful tool to make a scene stick in your mind, and that is a problem I am having with this show. There have been some other creative edits that I liked, but, like, they didn't resonate with me as being good edits. There is a scene where Varys is talking to Ned Stark and, like, his torch is kind of like flitting around, but, like, I found it almost more distracting, but they were, like, focusing. Sound editing is an important part of this. The sound edit on the torch and the way it was passing through the scenery was very interesting. I don't know if I'm an outlier here. Like, maybe people really can keep all of this stuff in their heads, but I suspect some people who are fans of this show can't actually, and they just perk up when somebody starts giving a speech, which is how you can watch Star Trek too. Love a good Star Trek speech. I gotta stop talking about Star Trek. Marvel, next time on Hell of Thrones. I just wanted to bask in the full ringtone. Season 2, Episode 4, Garden of Bones, which is probably what my mom thinks this show is called. Where to start? With a fart. This episode has the greatest beginning. So first of all, the fart. The fart joke. Game of Thrones has a fart joke. Didn't see it coming. Love the fart. Here for the fart. Enjoyed the fart. Hooray for farts. I feel like that scene was there for me. But wait, it gets better, because after the fart, suddenly wolf! I cannot fucking believe it that this when in doubt, add a wolf trope hit on such a crucial, because here's the thing. A fart joke is always risky. No matter what you're making, a fart joke is always risky. Like, I could do this entire 10-minute segment on just farts and their use in media, and how, like, it's always such a risky prospect, because a fart seems like an obvious joke, but a lot of people won't laugh at a fart because a fart is an obvious joke. But then to icing on the cake, suddenly, whoa! To, like, hedge your bets on, like, if anyone was thinking that the fart wasn't cool, here's a wolf! Like, that just cracks me the fuck up. I love it. It's just... wolf! I forgot everything else that happened in this episode. Oh yeah, we got some names this episode. Okay, motherfuck. Tywin Lannister is Chucky Dance, and that's Tyrion's dad. Why did I never figure that out? You are welcome to be like, you might just be stupid, Billy, which... That's mean. Someone else. Who did I get? Catelyn! Cat or Catelyn? Lady Stark. Catelyn. I don't know how it's spelled, and I will never know all the way down to the ground, because I'm not looking anything up for the entirety of watching this show. Davos is this boring bearded fucker I don't care about. Whenever a name comes up on the show, I have to think of, like, how I'll remember it phonetically. So Davos was Dayboss. I've never seen It's Always Sunny either, if you got another 1,000. Oh, it was a little difficult that they finally made King Joffrey relatable. Find me on Fat Life, Game of Moans. And you know what? What the fuck? I gotta fill 5 minutes, and I don't remember much else about this episode, except that Melisandre took an epic shit at the end. I feel like a lot of kinky fuckers love this show, and it's maybe an in for some people to discover kinky stuff. I think a lot about, like, like, oh, what is porn? What is kinky subtext? And what is just not being handled well at all and actually damaging. It's tough stuff to talk about, and maybe I'm not the one to do it, especially when I'm just rattling off random thoughts after I watch every episode. I have 4 more minutes to fill, and I don't know where to go with this. Joffrey's a little shit. A real Joffrey is terrible. I get why people definitely roleplay as Joffrey. That doesn't make what Joffrey does okay, is about all I'll say on the kinky matter of King Joffrey. Oh, okay. So I want to talk about Salsa. I want to talk about her relationship to Joffrey, because I'm starting to see how people get sucked into this show. This is not an endorsement of your park. I still think it's full of dinosaurs that are harmful to people. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in this show where we know that we're supposed to pick up that there is subtext or more story behind it. But again, everybody tells me that this show like really throttles you over the head with, oh, you didn't see that coming. So like, I feel like Sansa is a very obvious, she clearly doesn't actually love Joffrey and she's just hatching a plan. But then, like, I also wouldn't put it past this show to throw a curveball and be like, no, she's actually genuinely in love with him. I don't want that outcome because I don't think this show will handle it with nuance. Because I don't think this show does anything with nuance. With my last minute, I want to talk about something else, which is, friends have brought this to my attention. The things I'm saying about this show have probably been said a decade ago. I don't want any comments about like, oh, you stole so-and-so's joke. No, I haven't. I have not watched any comedy about Game of Thrones. This is all coming from me, so lateral thinking. I hate joke theft. I think it is the worst as a comedian myself. If I make any joke here that you heard somewhere else, I can assure you I did not steal it because I have not seen a damn thing about Game of Thrones. As a matter of fact, I really want to watch all the comedy sketches about Game of Thrones that I've been avoiding, but I'm going to have to save that for after when these edits are done, because I don't want any of the jokes to accidentally slip in. And I think I'm about to run out of time, so with my last 10 seconds, I just want to say, Scepter, I barely know her. I think that was 5. The Ghost of Harrenhal? Season 2, Episode 5, The Ghost of Harrenhal. So the shit ghost killed King Smoothnips.
I'm the first person in the world to put those words together in that particular order.
So I guess it's time for our recurring segment, where we come up with a new recurring segment, and that recurring segment is I Hardly Knew Ye, which is a segment for when a character dies before I even learned their fucking name. King Smoothnips, who I call that because there was a scene where he got his nipple shaved, did not learn his name. I wanted to talk about like the phenomenon of like George R.R. Martin makes characters that you love and then kills them and then you're devastated. So I want to reenact for you what it looked like when King Smoothnips was suddenly killed. Because my reaction was not, oh, I liked him. It was more like this. Oh, that was the Smoothnips guy. I feel like I was at least interested in his storyline, like, you know, being gay and having to hide that and you know, marrying a woman but not wanting to marry a woman and actually fucking that woman's brother. By the way, I never learned that guy's name either. Marjorie's brother. Wow, they killed the gay character. I never expect that in a show. What a surprise. It's a trope. Oh, schemes and plots are the same thing? Classic Tyrion. I am watching without subtitles on. I'm not taking notes. I'm not having any extra help. I'm not rewinding, which I'll admit, that is hurting me. There are times a character's name will be said, and then like a split second too late, I'll be like, oh, I didn't know his name yet. Today I had the most definitive scene that highlights this is somebody shook the hand of Theon Greyjoy. I'm learning. And in an introductory manner, literally stated his name is Dagmar. Nice to meet you. I live over here. And I was like, what the fuck? I can't deal with all the mumbling and muted colors in terms of figuring out who people are. I need someone to just like kick a fucking door down and be like, hi, I'm Dave Lannister. Speaking of names, all right, I learned a couple more. I believe Dany's Professor Sex, the lady that teaches Dany sex real good, I believe her name is Darius? I believe I heard that in a scene where they're hanging out. And by the way, I'm glad there's still a thing. I really thought her character was going to disappear. Side note, trouble at home. Dany's girl gang seems like it's imploding.
You would look like a real princess in Zara.
She's not a princess, she's a Khaleesi.
Is this Westeros or Facebook? That joke would have killed when this episode came out. A character who was introduced last episode. I know this isn't his name, but the first time he was introduced, I thought his name was Zoro Duck Sauce. I'm pointing that out just because I'm hoping that it was super fun to Photoshop that in the future. This is Zoro Duck Sauce, and I think it's Zara Doxa or Zara. I don't know where one part of the name stops and the next part starts. So I think it's like Zarados Oxus or Zara. No, but somebody called him Zara earlier. Zaradoxus? Zara Duck Sauce? Zoro Duck Sauce is just what I'm gonna go with. Speaking of names, a major thing hit me in this episode. Have we fucking met Robb Stark yet? I hear the name Robb Stark come up constantly. I don't know who that is. That's bad, right? Like, maybe, is he missing? Are we not supposed to know where he is? I don't know. I just know I've heard his name so many times and I don't have a face to go with it. I don't know who the hell Robb Stark is. In one of these scenes, I just need, like, somebody to give him the full cheers greeting, just, Robb Stark! Jesus Christ, I have 2.5 minutes left. Okay, fun new segment. So the woman in red took a shit and it killed a guy. So I feel like for 2 minutes, I just want to come up with every shit ghost pun I can think of. Pootergeist, spooky dookie, paranormal craptivity, specter, I barely shit, no, Crapper the friendly ghost, real monsters, I tried, the Xer shit, who you gonna wipe, turd busters, shit ghost. Season 2, Episode 6, The Old Gods and the New. Let's go! The Old Gods and the New. Cha-cha! What happened in this one? Oh, yeah, Joffrey got shit in the face. Again, I feel like I'm supposed to be getting great joy from this, but I'm just kind of like, meh. Again, not a super huge fan. Well, except for Tyrion smacking him upside the head and being like, my hand didn't fall off! Classic Tyrion. Definitely relatable. I was that little shit. Spice King rules. Love me some Spice King. I think Spice King is quickly my favorite character after Serial Sword Fighter. I still want to know where he is. I'm starting to realize that all the goofy random shit on this show is probably coming back later. Please tell me Serial Sword Fighter is still out there somewhere. I'm sure he comes back in Season 8 in a tank. I don't know the slave's name yet. I assume she's free now, but my memory's also really bad. I still don't know how to pronounce Zoro Duck Sauce. Zaradaxis? Zaradaxis is how I will spell it now. But guess whose name I do know? Robb Stark! Robb Stark. Okay, so the ongoing mystery of who the fuck is Robb Stark, I had hunches here and there. Now I know, because he was always hanging out with Theon Greyjoy, and those two are the most indistinct fuckers in this show. I remember Theon Greyjoy talking about spending time with Robb Stark, and I was like, oh, is it the other boring character that's as boring as Theon? Yes, it was! That was Robb Stark, which I now know is spelled with 2 B's, because Maisieface found something in a book that apparently was really important and she ran to tell somebody or something. Arya's got a buddy who owes her kills. I'm sure that's gonna come back later. Oh! Okay. After I invented the recurring segment, I Hardly Knew Ye, we had another kill that I never learned the name. Stop it! And I'm gonna count it because I've forgotten it again. Braided beardy fuck. Saw him sitting in a tavern back in Season 1. They killed him here. Later in this episode, they said his name, and I've forgotten it again, so I'm gonna count it. Braided beardy fuck, I Hardly Knew Ye. It started with a B. It was like Bartholomew. It wasn't Baratheon. Broderick, I sort of knew ye. Shit. For as much as this gets touted as like the best written show on television, and then people throw in a little asterisk about the last season, I think some really cheesy writing to me, like on the borderline of self-parody, and for the record, I think this whole show is a parody of itself. We'll get into that later. No, we'll get into it now. This show's fucking silly, and it's okay for a show to be silly. I fucking love silly shows. It's just weird to me when they get revered as, like, you know, something higher art. I'll probably cut all this out, but anyway, there was a moment that was just really silly to me. It's when they find Ygritte, who I thought was originally Ingrid. Egret, like a baby eagle. Egret, 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 Egret. I know I look stupid, but this is how I need to remember names. I almost lost it, so I was like, get it in there. Ygritte the redhead wildling. That whole scene was very silly to me. When they asked Jon Snow to kill Ygritte, that was cheesy. That was some Adam West cliffhanger shit. When they were like, yes, Jon Snow, you must kill her. We'll just be over here, safe in the knowledge that you definitely did it. What's this? Jon Snow tasked with doing away with this fiery wildling? Tune in next week. Same snow time, same snow channel. Like that was goofy. And then of course, like the build up to him doing it, I was like, aha, this show's gonna kick me in the balls and be like, no, we don't play that way. He's gonna do it. And I thought they were gonna like, do a clever edit or something. But they didn't. He just didn't kill her. He didn't have it in him. I don't know. He's pure of heart or something. And then they made like a little kinky game out of it. Like, I'm going to chase you across the wilderness. And then we have to huddle for warmth. It's for warmth. We have to do it. We have to do it. And then I'm just going to give you little booty bumps. I'll admit, I like their dynamic. I'm sad to say that Sam and Jon are probably not going to be OTP, which I saw coming. I predicted it back in episode Fuck All of This. I'd put money down that Jon and Sam are going to stay besties. And I gotta say, I don't really care about Sam and whatever her name is. But Jon and Ygritte, I'm kind of like, all right, where's this going? Are they just going to be like little kinky, playful people? And on the subject of kink, a lot of kinky dorks love this show, and I say that with love because I'm a kinky dork. I'm not going to judge. You can get your ideas for sex from any show. It's kind of interesting to me that, like, okay, I can see how this show is sometimes shorthand for like, hey, remember that scene from Game of Thrones? Do you want to play that tonight? And like, I've been around the block. I've done the Joffrey. I've done half an Ygritte. So I get that. I get why that appeals to people. Like, obviously it's still troublesome. Like, you're pretending to murder someone or die of freezing. Like, but that's in the context of knowing that parts of these things are problematic. It can be kind of fun, but it blurs the line a little when you don't know if you're trashy entertainment or high art. In Game of Thrones is something in between those things. I'd say Game of Thrones genre is Game of Thrones. Season 2, 2-7, A Man Without Honor. Yup. I think it's just around the back half of a season where I, in fairness, am ripping these all in a row over the course of a day. I think it's around the back half of each season, but not quite before the season finale, where I just go, all right, stuff's happening. We hear rumors of this to the north, and this could be a powerful ally, and this guy is something. Sansa is going through the Menses and talking to Cersei about it. Jon Snow and Ygritte kept doing their little kinky time, and she made it look like she was gonna show him her bush, and then the you-know-nothing Jon Snow line happened. I knew it was just a thing people said about this show, and now that I have the context, what she meant was you-know-nothing Jon Snow biblically, sexually. It's interesting to be on the other side of something cultural like that and be like, oh, okay, that's what that's about. Now I know. I win at being a person. Random side note, I listened to a really interesting podcast right before I started this that talked about how a religion is defined. And the really, really, really short version is just a shared cultural language. It's really all it takes. Doesn't necessarily need gods or magic or anything like that. Just shared cultural language. And under that banner, sports can be considered a religion. Star Trek can be considered a religion. And I've been thinking about it a lot because I feel like I'm in someone else's church right now. And I'm kind of like, I get it. I see what you get. I'm not feeling that sense of unity and warmth here, though. And that's okay. I get what this church is for you. It's not doing it for me. Nobody's built a laser. Maybe they're getting there. I go to laser church and you go to dragon church, and that's fine. And can't we all just get along and have sex and just those two things? Let's get along and have sex. But yeah, it's been on my mind a lot as like what I'm doing with this show is just kind of trying to hang out in somebody else's church for a bit. Look at another faith without necessarily seeking a new faith. If we want to get like real mystical on it. and I feel like I'm bullshitting because I have to fill 5 more minutes. I will say, I did enjoy that Ygritte was in fact pretending to be a wildling pixie dream girl, because when we first met her, I kind of got suckered into the act too, like, met some random lady, she wants to fuck, and I just was like, alright, this was written by a 12-year-old, and then it turns out that the sex was just a trick, so then I realized it was written by a 24-year-old. Slam ages and the way they look at the world, and especially women. Oh, I do want to be genuine about this. Going into this, I promised a lot of friends, like, if you like it, you gotta say you like it if you do. And I will definitely do that. One thing is, a lot of people talk about, like, you'll like a character and then they'll kill them, and then you'll be like, oh, the shock. I had that this time. Spice King, I was like, no! I started to let out a no, because I liked Spice King. We don't know much about Spice King, but still, Spice King. People of the world, spice up your life. A lot of things in this show, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about them because I can't remember what matters. I have to get context clues from the faces of the actors, and the ending of this episode I genuinely didn't get. He was like, people, gather around, let me show you some fucking thing, and then some bodies fell down all charred and burnt, and like he turned around, he made a face like he was surprised, and I'm like, oh, that's not the thing he was showing us? Did I blink in the wrong section? How am I supposed to feel? And then they faded to black like it was a really important moment, and I was just like, God, this show really makes me zonk out. Wait, is this the one? They start to blur together at this point too. I think this is the one where Maisie Face, Arya, and Tywin, I'm trying to think of the conversation they had, because I remember kind of liking it. I don't know, they have a really good rapport together, like she wants to kill him. I don't quite know why, but I can tell from the look on her face when she looks at him. I know that's also just the definition of acting, but like, it helps me a lot more than the dialogue itself does sometimes. Like, they'll have long conversations about like the kingdom to the south and the boat people, and I'll be like, I don't know what their deal is. And then someone's reaction to that will be, yes. And I'll be like, okay, now I know how to feel. Oh, with 1:50 to go. What's the deal with Dany's guy? Do you know who I'm talking about? She's got a guy. There's just a guy hanging around with him, and I don't know how he entered this show. If you were to ask me what the first episode he appeared in was, I couldn't tell you. I don't know how he got here. I don't know what her relationship to him is. I remember Dany's brother kind of like, you know, introducing her to Khal. I remember Dany's mani-pedi squad. And then there's just this guy who I can only describe as like a leather cowboy hat away from handing out fencing lesson flyers at a swingers convention. And like, he seems protective of her, and like, I can't quite get a bead on him. And like, he's just kind of there, and he feels just modern, and like, I don't know how he got here. I don't know his deal. Sometimes he looks like a pirate, sometimes he looks like a knight. I can't put my finger on what it is about the guy that just makes me feel like he doesn't belong here. He just always looks like he's wandered into scenes and is like, Dany, what's up? What are you doing? What's going on? Great, cool, glad to hear it. It feels like the Pinky and the Brain and Larry episode. Like, every time I see him, like, oh right, he's been here this whole time, but I just keep forgetting about him. Who is this man? Season 2, Episode 8, The Prince of Winterfell. Season 2, Episode 8, The Prince of Winterfell. Season 2, Episode 8, The Prince of Winterfell. Winterfell. Season 2, Episode 8, The Prince of Winterfell. Season 2, Episode 8, The Prince of Winterfell. Season 2, Episode 8, The Prince of Winterfell. Woo! All right. First of all, I've just taken to drumming during watching the show because I don't ever care what's happening ever, and I feel like I'm wasting my time in my life, so I'm getting pretty good at this. Fuck a duck. Oh, things I liked about this episode. Hey, romance! There's quite a lot in this episode. I think it's damn near the most romantic episode of the show so far. A lot of the sex on this show is cock, cunt. And then we have two very tender moments. One is not a sex scene. One is Tyrion really caring for Shine. And it was just like very sweet and endearing, and I'm gonna hate it if it turns out that Tyrion is manipulating her for his own nefarious purposes. You fucker. Why should you care who I fuck? Classic Tyrion. But also, there was the scene between Robb Stark and insert name here, and I just liked it because it was very sweet, because there is a lot of, marrying for power in this show, and he doesn't want to do that. He wants her, and then they bone down, and it's like loving and tender, but still a little grippy, and I like that because I'm a gentle bitch. I'm so bored, like, whenever it's just like, and smash cut to, there you go, like, I hate that shit. I still don't know the name of the slave girl that's running away with them. I don't know who Bran's friend is. They have all run away. They're holed up in a wall. They haven't revealed where it is yet. I do want to stress that I'm watching all the previously on Game of Thrones. I'm watching all of those, like, every single time one comes up. The minute I'm paying attention to this show the most is always the previously on. That first 60 seconds is like, all right, who's that? We don't always get names. Oh, fucking guy whose name I still don't know. He's still going around grunting in the background. He just talks like this. I think he's with Theon Greyjoy, but I don't know. Everyone is gray and devoid of joy. Boom! Pun on that name that probably should have been made 7 years ago, and probably was on a better YouTube show about Game of Thrones, the show we all love. Sorry, I'm getting a little loopy. I got 2 more of these things to do, and I'd really like to talk to anyone I love this evening before I go to bed and wake up at 5 in the morning for Season 3! I'm doing fine. What else was good in this episode? There's gotta be something good in this episode. Danny's fucking guy. Danny's simp. Danny's reply guy. I guess I'll call him that. Who is this fucking guy? He gave this big old speech about, I'll give my life for you, everything for you. He doesn't talk like that whatsoever. He's kind of gruffer, but like he's wearing armor now, and I'm like, who are you? Where did you come from? I do not fucking remember you. He must have been in Season 1, but who the fuck is he? I don't know. I've never felt more like I've been neuralized or Morty's mind blowers. I think she's getting her dragons back, if I remember correctly. We met Boneface. There's a guy with a bone face. Cool. The wildlings have taken some crows hostage. We got to see Sam again. Sam immediately is like, I wonder what John's up to. Like, I'm still rooting for them. That's still my OTP. Though I gotta say, Lady Footsaw and, I just learned his name. Robb Stark! Guy with a boring face. Not to face shame. The production design said, you're the forgettable one. You know what I realized? When I started this little program, Hell of Thrones, I never said I needed to pay attention to it. And some of you may say, boo, it's only Season 2, get your shit together, Billy. And I hear ya. But paying attention to this show is so fucking labor intensive. And you know what? I got paid $1,000 to do it, so I should just shut the fuck up and do the work. But it never said anywhere in the rules that a dog couldn't play basketball, and it never said anywhere in the rules that I had to like it, and it never said anywhere in the rules that I need to take meticulous notes that rival whatever the wiki for this is called. I'm gonna guess Hodorpedia. Maybe I'm not enjoying it because I'm trying too hard to be like, I gotta remember everything. And maybe this is more of a tone poem and not like a deeply intense religious text, though it feels like a religious text. If you look back at the pitch video that I made for this series, I said Highlander if it was the fucking Bible. And I still feel like that's pretty accurate. Like, if you've never seen Highlander, and I'm talking the series specifically, like, it's just cheesy and fun, but it's about, like, one guy meeting 1 to 2 characters per episode, most of which you'll never see again. And so that's where the Bible part comes in, is like, I feel like this is supposed to be fun cheese, but it's biblically massive. So it's like, I can't just, this is fun. I have to be like, I don't know what any of this is, and to understand it, I need a biblical scholar's, like, knowledge of the text. I thought about making a chart of, like, what are the 3 parameters of me liking a show, and I think I've got it figured out. And this is probably a stupid chart, but modern, philosophical, and sci-fi fantasy. And what's weird to me is that Game of Thrones seems equidistant. And when I say equidistance, I mean away from everything. It's not modern, it's much long ago speak. It's philosophical-ish, but it almost just feels like they're trying to make cool dialogue rather than reveal anything deeper about humanity. And by the way, if they think they're actually revealing something deeper about humanity, it's kind of scary. It's a very conservative mindset, and fuck you, I got mine. And then just sci-fi fantasy elements, which it maybe doesn't make a lot of sense for the dot to be here, and it should probably be closer to here. But like, to be honest, there's not a ton of fantasy. We're starting to get into it. We're getting our dragons. We're getting that teleporting Nosferatu there. Like, fuck's going on there? Can't wait. Love it. More of that. For me to like a show, I want it to be a big fucking circle. I want it to be hitting all those things, like modern sensibilities, and I suppose the dot goes way up here if it's set in the future. I do tend to like a lot of future stuff. Is this all bullshit? I'm starting to draw charts and graphs. I feel like I've officially gone off the deep end. If we continue the church metaphor, like, I've chosen my church, and it's not this one. And again, that's fine. It's just not, it's not speaking to me. Season 2, episode 9. Blackwater. Wildfire! Holy shit! Guess what, friends? I told you I'd be honest. If I had a good time, I had a great fucking time. Season 2, episode 9, rocked my shit. Wow. Wow. Fuck. I really dug that. But there's always a but with me. One of the things I've been saying is there aren't a lot of science mysteries on this show. And because it's fantasy, you'd expect more like magic mysteries. But today, my friends, science mystery. Loved it. This was some fucking engineering on the battlefield. Yeah. Just fucking yeah. Awesome. The fact that I can't talk about the episode because my mind is just so blown is like, yeah, holy shit, that was amazing. I know they set up like, you know, oh, wildfire, you just kind of lob it with a catapult. Some character was like, oh god, you'll probably make like 1 hit out of 10. You need all these men to man the catapults. And then just fucking Tyrion with like, we're gonna load it all on one ship. Boom, boom. Taking everybody out. The guy on the other ship was like, well, we'll do the best we can with what we got left. And like, fuck. Awesome. And then they're storming the beaches, and then the Hound's like, you fucking idiot, the whole sea's on fire, and I'm scared of fire. Fucking genius. This episode's fucking genius. And people have told me like, oh man, they set up the pins and then they knock them down. Can I be vulnerable with you for a little bit? Because I'd like to talk about something that I really love. That's kind of similar, and it is, of course, Back to the Future. If you were placing your bets on how long it would take before I talked about it, did you think Season 2, Episode 9? Here's why I'm bringing it up right now. My favorite thing about these movies is that they spend an hour setting up pins and then just knock them down. I think Dominoes is a more apt example. That's kind of what this was. Like, oh, all this stuff was in place, and now... Yes! I'll say this, though... Always a but. I would have enjoyed this just as well if it was a 2-hour movie and the first hour was just, you know, wildfire, it's this hot thing, but nobody uses it because it takes a lot of people, and what's the deal, and here's my strategy, we're gonna throw it out here, oh no, but this guy's afraid of fire, what do we do, fuck. I guess where I'm going with this is like, if people are gonna be like, oh yeah, you were bored, but look what it was leading up to, I'm kind of like, yeah, but just because the wildfire explosion and the ensuing battle was an orgasm, that doesn't mean that the, 16, 17, 18 episodes leading up to it, it doesn't mean those were edging. Those were kind of like, you know, like sadly flogging a floppy cock. I talk like this show now. Planning a battle is not as exciting as a battle, and I was gonna tell you, I was actually starting to get really worried that the battle scenes in this show were gonna suck. Like, I was really worried, like, well, the planning's fucking boring, so they better bring it on the action front. They fucking brought it, took it away, and brought it again. If you paid money to see me say good things about this show, Season 2, Episode 9, Blackwater, fuck yeah. That battle was goddamn amazing, and I'm not gonna pretend it wasn't. Not that I ever came here to pretend. Blackwater fucking ruled. I was taking a nap all the way to it, but that was fucking great. And you know what? You know who's not good at battles? These guys. And they're looking for peace. And that's not what we're about here at the Church of Thrones. The Church of Thrones came to fuck shit up. Battles on Star Trek usually boring, but when I say boring, it's because they have a really, really good conversation somewhere in there, and the conversation gets to the heart of humanity. These guys got to each other's hearts literally with fucking axes and arrows and a boat made of fire. This was great. I cannot pretend it wasn't. A little bit thick though. I couldn't really follow the B plot of this little sitcom. The Cersei stuff I didn't quite understand. Again, because I'm having so much trouble paying attention to everything on the show. I don't know who that kid she was poisoning was. When Tywin busted in at the end, I was like, wait a minute. He wasn't fighting, was he? And then I was like, oh, are they doing a stylistic editing thing? Where this is an old battle and she was about to kill that child who I thought maybe was Joffrey. I was fucking confused, and it's okay to say, Billy, you've fundamentally misunderstood part of the show. Guess what? It's gonna happen. I was confused. I just didn't know what I was seeing. Oh wait, but when did she get the poison? Was it 2 timelines on top of each other? I kind of hate that shit. I'm very bad with it. I can actually handle very complex storylines. Ask me about any movie with time travel in it, and I can actually explain it. But I have to be passionate about the subject. I will fucking tell you how time travel works in any movie right goddamn now. Ask me what 5 people are doing in this show. I couldn't fucking tell you. I don't know what their motivations are. Give any one of them a time machine though, and I'm ready to go. Friends who didn't know I'd never seen the show often like hanging out would be like, oh, do you want to watch this episode of Game of Thrones? And I always thought like, oh, I didn't know that was a show you could like jump in on an episode. Like, it doesn't seem very episodic. But now I get it. I would watch this one over again right now. The choreography I'm going to give middling. The cinematography I think really made some things shine though, like the edits. Battle scenes are hard to do. Like, seriously, respect for this. It was all action, no talk. I think I've decided I like my Star Trek talky and I like my Game of Thrones choppy. Like, just start chopping shit up. When the episode started and we saw that the battle was going to be at night, I actually thought, holy fucking shit, does this show have no budget and so they're going to do the battle at night? Because in the last season, Tyrion got the bonk on the head, and then, oh buddy, you missed the really expensive fight. So in this one, I thought it was gonna be like, we have to go under cover of night, and you were just gonna hear like death in the distance and people like scared, and then like once they got up to like the part of the set they already had, they would start fighting, you know, in close up and you know, kind of like trying to mask the fact that they only have 40 extras or something. But it wasn't that at all. This episode came to play and came to win and fucking won. I can't believe there's another episode in this season. What the hell could it be about? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. I have 10 seconds left. I really wanted to nail that ending. Wildfire! Season 2, Episode 10, Valar Morghulis, or however you say that. I miss Wildfire. You ever just think about what Wildfire's doing right now? Being all wild and fiery. Well, that's the end of Season 2. Let's just throw all the shit at the wall. Not that wall. Okay, sure. You got zombies? Great. Toss them in. You got a fucking David Bowie Goblin King Nightmare Tower? Sure. Why the fuck not? Dragons, we know about them, but now they're, you know, breathing fire at shit. I really like how they got the drop on that guy who was like, wait, dragons breathe fire? I know, they were baby dragons. They don't breathe fire yet, but like, just in case, man, wear a flame-proof coat. Okay, time travel or prophecy or something. Getting those Lost vibes real heavy. Like, we got a good thing going. Let's run it into the fucking ground now. Oh, hey, we get to do our I Hardly Knew Ye segment. Theoretically, Jangly Robe Fucker is what I've been calling him for 2 seasons. He got shanked. I immediately went, oh, good. Never learned his name. Then a few scenes later, they find him, he's still alive, and then I go, oh, okay, he's not dead. And then they're gonna say his name. They never say his name. When someone's dying, say their name. And then the slave girl, whose name I still don't know, he's like, do it, end it. And like, we never see if she does it or not. So I don't know if he's dead. So I'll do a soft I Hardly Knew Ye. Jangly Robe Fucker down, I guess. Some whole fucking village got busted up. I guess it's Theon's. Theon gave a big speech and then got bonked, and I don't know what's going on. And the guy who introduced himself as is staging a coup, I guess. We got shapeshifters. What the shit? How could you not tell that this was about to go downhill? These are all the signs of we better cram 5 fucking things into the finale. I'm gonna make an observation that is not my own, but because I'm not looking anything up while I do this, I don't know where it comes from. But when Game of Thrones finally kicked the bucket, there were all the takes, all the think pieces, all the this, that, and the other thing. And while I avoided most of it, I read an article that was talking about, don't get mad, Thrones fans, how Marvel actually stuck their landing, coincidentally, at the same time that Game of Thrones shit its pants. And I read that article for the Marvel stuff. I tried to avoid specifics on the Game of Thrones stuff. I'm not going to look this up right now, but Editor Billie, in the future, is going to look it up. What'd you find? Okay. Really? Oh, I'm familiar with their work. Or I'm not. Great, good for them for writing that article. I guess it talks about the fact that Game of Thrones is designed to never end, so the ending will always be unsatisfying. And I've always kept that theory in mind whenever people are like, you gotta start it, and around when it was ending, I was like, I don't think you're gonna like who wins no matter what. And I know there's a whole bunch of shit tangled up in there about showrunners and not following the books anymore. If I were watching this show back in time, along with all of y'all, the end of season 2 would make me go, ugh, this fucking thing. I think it would hold me and cradle me and go, you liked Wildfire, didn't you? Blackwater. Remember Blackwater, Billie? Oh, wasn't that so good? Oh, shh, there. There's lots more Thrones you're gonna love. And I think I would say, you know what, everybody? I'm out. Genuinely, I think if I were watching this with people back when it debuted, I think Blackwater would make me go, alright, that was really fucking cool. And then the episode right after it would make me go, wow, what the fuck? Where are they going with this? Ugh. Again, I promised my genuine thoughts in this thing, and that's what I'm giving you. When Tywin showed up, I was like, was Tywin in... I'm talking about the last episode, which kind of bleeds into this one, but when Tywin showed up at the end of the last one, I was like, okay, how was he connected to any of this? I don't remember him having a hand in it, and maybe that's the point, is we didn't know. Surprise ambush, I helped save the city, so I get Tyrion's job now. By the way, Tyrion, big old softy. Classic Tyrion. I was hoping for that finale to clear things up for me, and I just ended up being more confused. Who the fuck was Cersei poisoning? It's okay to say, Billie, this shit's really obvious, and you're failing at understanding it. There's, it's always blondes. I just realized that. It's always blonde characters that I'm like, where the fuck did they come from? Do I just have face blindness that's only activated when someone's blonde? Brand has a friend that I don't fucking remember. Cersei's poisoning some little blonde kid I don't fucking remember. Dany's got this blonde servant guy who I don't remember showing up, but just is there now and seems really important. Oh, the guy that sucked King Smoothnips. Who was he? Oh wait, I know who he is now. He's Marjorie's brother. There was a blonde woman. Oh, whichever episode that Cersei was all like, I found you out, Tyrion. I found your lover, and then it was a different lady. I don't know how she got that lion necklace. I think I just have plot blindness around blonde characters. Oh wait, no, this even applies. Jaime Lannister. I forgot why he was imprisoned. I don't remember. They keep calling him the Kingslayer. I feel like there's a hint in the name. Did he kill King Flintstone? Robert Baratheon? Did he kill him? I forgot how he got killed. I thought it was just a generic battle. You know what was good though? You know what was so good? Brienne of Tarth. That scene where she was with Jaime and they row the boat ashore and then they get accosted by those guys. Brienne of Tarth, big fistful of dollars energy on that one. Ever the strategist, has the cool line. 2 quick deaths was very much a 3 coffins, my mistake, 4 coffins kind of moment. A very subtle thing in that scene is when the guy pulls the whole all right, tell me his name. You both say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, and I love that she shoves Jaime. That was such a subtle but tactical move of I'm about to kill Jaime, if you try to do anything, you will be in the way and you will fuck up my plan. So instead of lunging at the guy, 3, 2, Jaime, sit the fuck down, stab! And I really, really loved that. I feel like the fights in this show are good, whether they're one-on-one or the battle scenes. I gotta give the show that. It's doing well so far. I will admit, I've heard in later seasons some of the fight choreography is pretty dumpy, pretty bad, pretty micro-edity, shot in close-up. Oh, God. See also the Christian Bale Batman movies, which have their merits. Yeah, I know that if you like Heath Ledger's Joker, you also like Game of Thrones. There's an overlap. Yeah, just kind of a snoozy finale for me, season finale. Still very much not sure what's going on in a lot of ways. See you around for season 3. When I'm watching a show I hate, I love nothing more than to have friends give me food. So thank you, Asia, and also thank you to my friend Scott, who brought over some cereal. So hey, we just finished season 2, and that means I did my season 2 chart of trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Here we go. So we're split up by houses again. House Lannister, who do you got? You got Cersei. You got Cersei, who was married to King Robert Baratheon. Also, Robert Baratheon is dead. Cersei and Jaime, they are brother and sister. They are children of Tywin. Their union produced Joffrey and I think some other kid. Tywin, of course, also had Tyrion, who is in love with Shae. Tywin has also done army stuff with Tyrion, but I think they're rivals. Brienne is guarding Jaime for Cat Stark. Cersei poisoned some other kid. I don't know who the fuck that is. I may just be stupid. That is always a possibility with this. Holy shit, holy shit. What is this gonna look like by season 8? Joffrey was betrothed to Marjorie at the end of the season. He was originally betrothed to Sansa, but heartbreak, Sansa befriends the Hound, who is a knight. Oh, I didn't put that Ned is dead. Dead Ned. Ned is dead via behead, but he and Kat have had Arya, Bran, and I believe Robb, who I just fucking figured out is in this. Robb was supposed to marry a lady for a bridge, but he's in love with Nurse Footsaw. They got married at the end. I'm marrying for love. They had sweet, gentle sex. It made me horny. Ned and Kat had Bran, Arya, Robb. Jon Snow, bastard, is only the kid of Ned. We don't know who the mom is. Jon Snow was captured by wildlings and met Ygritte. Jon Snow has been separated from Sam. Boo. We like them as a couple. Sam met a nice lady at some incest cabin. Arya was disguised as a boy, became friends with a shapeshifter, whose name I can't remember, but it was some weird phrase. Arya also worked for Tywin as a wine server. Tywin possibly fought with some blonde guy, and that some blonde guy, I think, was also madly in gay love with King Smoothnips. King Smoothnips unfortunately died. He was killed by a shit ghost that was birthed from love between, I believe, Red Lady and Davos. I didn't put it on here, but I think Red Lady's name is Melisandre, just from cultural osmosis. I put Pike, because I think there's a place called Pike, but then I crossed it off because I wasn't sure. Dany was in love with Khal, kind of. I did a broken heart, but I put it back together because at the end, we thought Khal was dead, but, question mark, maybe Khal's not dead. Dany is mommy to 3 dragons. I didn't link that anywhere. Dany just made them herself, I guess. Dany went to Karth, which is home of Spice King, Zoro Duck Sauce, and Teleporting Fancy Nosferatu. Teleporting Fancy Nosferatu was killed by dragon fire caused by the 3 baby dragons that Dragon Mommy gave him. Did not give him, sorry, that she rescued from him. Also, Dany killed Zoro Duck Sauce and Darius for fucking. Dany and Darius is no more, which is a shame. I was really rooting for those crazy kids. Varys and Littlefinger, whose name is possibly Pete Baylor, which just sounds like a softball coach. Varys and Littlefinger, they're just scheming. I just wrote scheming. They're just always scheming shit. Theon Greyjoy horsefingers his sister, gets bonked by a grunty guy who kills a jangly robe fucker, and that is the best way that I can summarize everything I saw in the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. Did I mention Brienne of Tarth? Yeah, of course I mentioned Brienne of Tarth. It's gonna get stupid. I think it's going to get unbelievably stupid, but I think stupid in a way that fans think is maybe going somewhere for a couple more seasons. So I'm not going to say full-on stupid yet, but I think it's going to be filled with a lot of stupid stuff that doesn't go anywhere. A la your Losts and your Battlestar Galacticas. That's new Battlestar Galactica. I haven't seen the old one. But hey, if you got $1,000 laying around. Predictions for next season. I think Dany's going to be a strong, independent woman who fucks shit up all by her lonesome. Love has been a disaster for her. Marjorie wants to be queen. She doesn't give a fuck about Joffrey, so she's probably going to have to power position some way that she can be queen, but I think Cersei also wants to be queen. I feel like there's going to be a lot more death coming. I think season 3 is going to be when they're like, we got him, we can start going off the rails. And then season 4 is when it's going to actually go too far off the rails, which fans may be like, no, it's perfect. But like, I think that's about when it's going to start falling apart and realize it's not sustainable. I feel like most shows hit that stride in the 2, 3, 4 zone. And then depending on the show, they slowly peter out, but still kind of stick the landing, or they start petering out because they're like, I don't know what to do. Now, these are based on books, then it's not based on a book anymore, so very hard to gauge what going off the rails means to me versus what going off the rails means to a fan of this show. I didn't know that kingdoms would start getting added. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I remember when season 2 started, and I was like, well, who are these new fuckers? There's gonna be more kingdoms? Crap. I think Sam's gonna live. Sam is gonna live. I think they wanted to scare us, but I think all the zombies are gonna wander right past him because they don't consider him a threat. But that scene was very much like, ooh, they might get him. But yeah, I think they're gonna wander right past. I don't have much else in the way of predictions. I'm kind of not invested enough to have predictions. My prediction is that I'll continue to not enjoy it. Except for Blackwater, which fucking ruled. Hey, if you like the show, thanks so much. Here's my website. And here's my Patreon if I figured out how to set one up. And I made all the music in the show, so go check that out. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much to everyone who gave to this amazing campaign, which, yes, was literally made so that I could afford rent, because 2020 is the true Game of Thrones. Please stick around and read the credits of all the nice people that helped me out, and we'll see where we go from here. Stay tuned for season 3, and as they say on Game of Thrones, a king's cock is the only compass when it comes to winning. Bye, everybody!